Brad Stevens does not sleep. Your Boston Celtics just made 2 roster moves as the shakeup continues in the 2025 NBA offseason. We'll talk about those moves and who the Celtics brought in on today's show. And we'll also get into some injury news on our own Jaylen Brown as he is recovering from that partially torn meniscus that he was playing through in the postseason, underwent surgery, and now we have an update as to where he is in his basketball rehab. All that and more in just a moment. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This is why you subscribe to Celtics Today by Chat Sports, because when they make moves, we make a video. If the Celtics have anything going on, we're going to make a video because it's the dead heat of August, and there isn't a whole heck of a lot going on right now. So when the Celtics make a move, you know we're going to give you guys some content. Subscribe and turn those noties on so you never miss a moment around your C's. Let's get into it. The first Celtics roster move here coming in from Michael Scotto. And he said that the Boston Celtics and Ron Harper Jr. have agreed to a deal, according to league sources. He has spent the past 3 NBA seasons with the Raptors and Pistons, and the versatile wing surged last season with the Motor City Cruise, shooting 39% from three-point range. Also spent some time with the Maine Celtics as well. And before we get into all this about Ron Harper Jr., I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of exposition on what a Exhibit 10 contract is and what that means for Ron Harper Jr. and the Celtics moving forward. Now, Rav from the Celtics blog said the following. He said, an Exhibit 10 deal allows Boston to bring Ron Harper in on a non-guaranteed 1-year deal for the minimum so that he can essentially try out for the team in training camp. If the Celtics decide to waive him before the start of the regular season, which will be likely the case given that Boston only has 1 open roster spot remaining and tends to keep at least 1 available heading into a new season, then he can be designated as an affiliate player, thus allowing Boston to retain his G League rights. Now, also has an incentive in this deal. If he spends 60 days with the team and is not waived for 60 days, he will receive an $85,000 bonus in his contract as well. So he's going to be coming around for training camp. And if I'm doing the quick math here, there is a little bit over 2 months left until the NBA season begins. So could the Celtics hold him until, maybe the 3rd week of October, 2nd week of October, and get him his money there? Well, that remains to be seen. Who knows? He could end up making the active roster. A little bit more here about Ron Harper Jr., 6'6", and he's undrafted back in 2022 from Rutgers University. Played a bunch of seasons there, and he was really the Scarlet Knights' marquee player. Had a bunch of awesome collegiate moments that I'll talk about in just a moment. He spent some time with the Raptors and the Pistons as far as his real NBA action has gone, and then played 4 games last year with the Maine Celtics and averaged 23 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Like, he was playing pretty solid ball for the Celtics up there in Maine. And this is a player who's had really, really big-time collegiate success. I remember a couple seasons ago, back when the Rutgers Athletic Center, it used to be called the Rack. Now it's got another trash name, but Rutgers was playing number 1 Purdue, and Ron Harper Jr. took it length of the floor, stopped Pop from about 35 feet out, and drained the game winner. It was one of the coolest moments I've ever seen, one of the coolest moments in Rutgers basketball history. Ron Harper Jr. is absolutely a Scarlet Knight legend. Also, the brother of former Scarlet Knight and now San Antonio Spur, number 2 overall pick, Dylan Harper, if you guys didn't know, and obviously the son of longtime NBA legend Ron Harper Sr. As far as what Ron Harper Jr. did throughout his G League tenure last year is where he spent most of his season, spending 27 games between Motor City and Maine. He averaged 18 points per game, averaged nearly 5 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and he shot it at a really, really high clip, especially from the three-point line. He put up like 13.5 shots a night, but 9 of those were three-pointers, and he shot 39% on them. So he's an efficient just bucket getter from multiple levels. He can drive, he can hit the mid-range, he can step out and shoot the outside shot, both off the catch and off the dribble as well. I'm excited for Ron Harper Jr. here to kind of get into this training camp mode, try out for the Celtics, and who knows? He's had more NBA experience than some of the other Exhibit 10 deals that the Boston Celtics have under their belt right now. So Harper Jr.'s got just as good a chance as any of these 3 guys to make the Celtics roster when it's all said and done if he shows out in camp. Jalen Bridges is another one of those guys that has a little bit more of NBA experience as far as the Celtics Exhibit 10 deals go. Aaron Scott, St. John's forward from last year, a real 3-and-D guy, bring your lunch pail to work type of player who's going to be the first in the gym, last to leave. Like, just 3-and-D, going to give you 110% effort on both ends of the floor. And then Hayden Gray, sharpshooter, underrated defender from UC San Diego as well. He can shoot the 3 at a really high clip. So the Celtics now have 4 Exhibit 10 deals and 19 total players on the roster. We're going to talk about another roster move they made in the two-way department in just a moment. But show some love to Ron Harper Jr. Welcome him to Boston. Get down in the comment section and spam your Shamrock emojis. Get some green down there below. And welcome Ron Harper Jr. to Boston, even if it's just for a training camp tryout. The next Celtics roster move It is official. It is something we all kind of knew was coming. It was assumed, but it is now set in stone. The Celtics have signed Amari Williams to a two-way contract, the 56th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the center out of Kentucky by way of Drexel. And look, Amari Williams, he didn't get a ton of burn in the Celtics Summer League action, only played about 17 and a half minutes a night, and it was a lot of inconsistent minutes. Like there was one night where he played 22 or 25 minutes, then he would play like 5 minutes, and just wasn't really seeing himself in an established role early on for the Celtics out there in Las Vegas. Averaged 7 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, which that's something that I'm going to talk about in just a moment as far as his skill set goes. He's one of the most underrated passers and overall just best passers out of this 2025 draft class. Had a stock a game and shot at a pretty inefficient rate as well. Launched a couple of threes, but that's not going to be a part of his game at least anytime soon. But as far as what I was saying about the kind of inconsistencies in his minutes and his role in Summer League, like when he got the opportunity, he absolutely shined and showed flashes. He had a first half back on July 20th where he scored 6 points in the first half, had 8 rebounds, had 4 assists, was finding open teammates, making other guys better. That's what he does so well. And it's not just out of the short roll or at the top of the key. Like Amari Williams, I saw one of the plays that just stuck out to me a ton from Summer League is him on the left wing, and he just whips a pass to the opposite side and hits an open man for the three-pointer. So, like, he just has elite vision from all angles on the court, and I think it's going to bode very, very well in a Joe Mazzulla offense, given he improves on the things he needs to improve upon, like the around-the-rim scoring, like the overall footwork on the low block. There are definitely holes in Amari Williams' game, but he has the things in between the ears to be able to be a really, really polished basketball player. Look, he's 23 years old. He spent 5 years in college. There's some things that he's going to be really, really good at, but there's also some things that he really needs development on, and that's what I'm excited to see this upcoming season. Amari Williams said this about his game and what the Celtics want to see from him this upcoming season back in Vegas. He said, "They want me to just develop and grow. I'm good at passing, but there's a lot more to the game than that. Even in training camp these past few days, back in July, I've been working on screening and just being in the best position to rebound. Just kind of developing my game overall and being ready for whatever comes." Well, there's definitely a possibility that opportunity comes in a big way this season. With there being so many question marks, the Celtics have signed Amari Williams to this two-way contract where he's going to spend a lot of time with the main Celtics, but he's also going to have to spend a certain number of games with the Boston Celtics main roster. And with so many questions surrounding the front court and who's going to emerge and who's going to end up being the starter long term, who's a player that we can look at and take into the 26-27 season. There's so many questions that have yet to be answered because we just don't know what that Celtics front court is going to look like. That, to me, means that Amari Williams has just as good a chance as any of those guys, Luka Garza, even a guy like Neemias Queta who has familiarity in this Celtics organization. Amari Williams has just as good a chance as any to emerge and be a long-term fit at the Celtics center position because he has the things that you want. He's got that elite shot blocking ability. He can rebound the heck out of the basketball, and he has elite passing vision. So expect Amari Williams to get an opportunity and make the most of it when he suits up for the Celtics in his rookie season. With that being said, he fills out the Celtics two-way contracts. Max Scholga, Amari Williams, obviously their 2 draft picks from back in June. And then they ended up trading for R.J. Lewis in that George Niang deal. Getting off that money completely. These 3 contracts do not count against the salary books this year. So we'll see if R.J. Lewis ends up getting a pretty solid opportunity for the C's this year. Scholga, more of a guard. Amari Williams down there on the low block. And then R.J. Lewis, that scorer off of the wing. We'll see if he can develop his offensive game a little bit more to be a mainstay in an NBA rotation after a lot of people thought that he should have been drafted back at the end of June. Which out of these two-way contracts do you guys think makes the biggest impact in year one? Because we can't look too far ahead right now. As far as making an impact for the 25-26 Celtics, who does it best? Max Scholga, give me an MS down in the comment section. If it's Amari Williams, give me an AW. Or if it's R.J. Lewis, the new trade acquisition, give me an RL. Who makes the biggest impact out of the two-way contracts that will be suiting up in big-time games for the Celtics this season? Next, we're going to get into a Jaylen Brown injury update as we talked about at the top of today's show. He's recovering from that partially torn meniscus, and we saw him on the basketball court. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but first, get hooked up with this awesome deal at this link right here, chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. Jason Tatum jerseys are on sale with the normal Celtics uniforms and all that stuff, and that is just bonkers to me why they're throwing this on such a crazy discount. That's why I'm telling you, you'll get one today. Again, chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. That's chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. Don't worry, though. You don't have to type all that in your search bar. I put that link in the comment section and the description of today's video as well. We also get a proceed of the funds when you guys purchase some of these Jason Tatum jerseys. So go down below if you want to support the show and get yourself dripped out in some Tatum gear today. An injury update. Here we go. Jaylen Brown, as he is set to be the Boston Celtics' #1 option for the first time in his career upcoming next season. He's recovering from a partially torn meniscus. He went under the knife this offseason and underwent surgery to repair that knee to be ready to be that #1 option for the Boston Celtics. So what has Jaylen Brown been up to? He has been spending a good portion of his summer in Boston, around Jason Tatum, around the rest of the Celtics organization at the Auerbach Center. But now he's taken a trip overseas. He's been in China for the past couple of days. He also met up with Manny Pacquiao. I'm not sure if he was in Brazil or where that interaction was at, but they had a little face-off with the fists there, he and Pacquiao did. Now he's in China hanging out with, I'm sure you guys recognize Yao Ming, sitting at the table, all 7'6" of the man. And he ended up playing in a Yao Ming exhibition game over in China. If we look at this, Jaylen Brown skying up for a slam. And shout out to me for doing elite screenshot work on this tweet here as I caught Jaylen Brown in the air. But this is a guy who just was recently recovering from a partially torn meniscus. It's awesome to see that he has the ability to just look good like this in an exhibition game out there in China. He also hit 2 threes as well, one of them off of the dribble, and one of them, it was like a step back off the dribble, and then one of them was kind of coming into the offense, just walked right into it, hand down, man down. Jaylen Brown nailed it. He had 8 points in this charity exhibition matchup. Noah Dalso also gave a little bit of exhibition here as well. Jaylen Brown played a game in China. Not sure if this means he's close to clear to 5-on-5, but definitely a good sign. So good news in the Jaylen Brown department right now. It doesn't seem like there's any setbacks. It doesn't seem like he'll be starting the season off, on the injury report and all that good stuff. So we're going to see Jaylen Brown healthy and ready to go for Celtics season when it gets kicked off. Now, as far as things that I'm going to be looking for from Jaylen Brown to improve upon this offseason, what am I watching for with Jaylen Brown as the #1 option for your Boston Celtics? Well, one, I'm looking for an improved handle. Too many years, too much time has gone by to where Jaylen Brown has not confidently developed a handle that we can look at and be confident in a player that's going to have as high of a usage rate as he's going to have this next season. Jaylen Brown is going to have the ball in his hands a whole heck of a lot, more than he's ever had in his NBA career. And if that handle isn't tighter, he's going to turn the ball over a whole heck of a lot, and the Celtics are not going to succeed as a result. So I need an improved, tighter handle from JB this year. I also need efficient shot taking. Like, I can't see Jaylen Brown just picking up the worst possible shots this year. Like, I need to see him continue to be an ethical hooper. Like, work on your man in the mid-range. Take that rise up elbow jumper like you take so well. Don't feel the need to launch up a bunch more threes this season just because Tatum's out and you need that reinforcement from out there. You kind of know your game at this point, and it's the in-between, it's attacking the basket, and it's the open threes when you have them. So just keep taking those efficient shots, and the points will come to you, I promise. And then a playmaking leap. Like I said, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton more this upcoming season. And in the games that Jason Tatum hasn't played and Jaylen Brown has throughout their careers, Brown has put up 5 assists a night. Like, I would love to see that number get closer to the 6 mark this year, the number that Jason Tatum just got this past year. So there's absolutely room for him to improve in a bunch of different areas, even though he's already an all-NBA level talent. Handle, shot taking, and playmaking leap. I'm going to need to see Jaylen Brown make other guys on this basketball team better this year because that is something that I've yet to see in his NBA career up to this point. With that being said, predict it for me down in the comment section. What is Jaylen Brown's stat line going to be for the 2025-26 NBA season? I'm talking points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, three-point percentage too. What do you guys think? And how many attempts, how many threes a night is he going to do? Get all that stuff down in the comment section for me. And make sure you guys give me a follow over on Twitter. I'm going to be posting way more Celtics content at this handle right here, at Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's. I know I have a common name, so I wasn't going to get that all in full on my Twitter. But hit me up over there on social media. We can continue the conversation. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. When the Celtics make moves, we make videos. So I was very happy to be able to bring you guys some fresh Celtics news on a Monday afternoon. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go C's.